Eddie Murphy returns as Axel Foley in the new Beverly Hills Cop film on Netflix. So today, let's see if it's worth your time. Hey everybody, my name's Justin here. I try to watch everything that hits theaters and on streaming services like Netflix. If you guys are like me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and click that bell notification for more up and coming content. After his daughter's life is threatened, wisecracking detective Axel Foley teams up with a new partner and some old pals to turn up the heat on a conspiracy. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2, and 3. I've watched them really late in life, so I don't really have any connection to those films, but I do think that they're enjoyable Eddie Murphy comedies. He was more comedic in those 3 films, and this 4th film is more mature, but still manages to bring some of the comedy that Eddie Murphy was known for in those 3 films. This 4th film is able to do well is that it realizes that Axel Foley is in a different part of his life. Not that he's more mature because he's had a lot of problems with his daughter, is that he handles situations a bit differently. It's less comedic and more serious, but there is still a lot of comedic moments in here. Eddie Murphy brings the charm to Axel Foley once again. He has a lot of wisecracking jokes. He's able to insert himself into situations and get out of it in very hilarious ways. But also the supporting cast adds for a lot of the jokes. Like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who works well alongside Eddie Murphy. I love that pair within here. We also get the return of Taggart, who was in the first 2 Beverly Hills Cops film. And I love the relationship between him, Billy, and Axel Foley, and that's what made the second film work so well, is that relationship that the 3 of them had. And I definitely did miss Taggart in the 3rd film, but he was in here. Both him and Billy have more of a limited screen time in here for most of the film, but they do have enough to make them feel like their time is worthy within the film. Now, what makes this film more serious compared to the first 3 films is that it does look at a lot of his relationship with his daughter, Jane, played by Taylor Page, and how they have had this struggling relationship. They don't go into a lot from when they were younger. It is often mentioned that he takes his job way too seriously and dedicates a lot of his time to that, and that in turn has put a strain on their relationship. It does feel incredibly generic at times, but there is enough heart-to-heart conversations between the 2 that they realize that their relationship could be better and they want to work on that. So that's where the more serious, dramatic tone comes forth compared to the previous 3 films, where he wasn't in a relationship, he didn't have kids in those first 3 films. He was able to really dedicate himself to his job, and now it's a bit different for him. I like this film did realize that he is in a different part of his life. He's not able to do the same thing he did in the previous films. It's a new Axel Foley, while still having some of the wisecracking jokes and the hilarious moments from Eddie Murphy. I did like a lot of the action. It opens up really intense. There are some thrilling scenes throughout. Kevin Bacon adds for a lot of the intensity. Joseph Gordon-Levitt also gets involved with a lot of the action. Feels like your Beverly Hills Cop action scenes. And I was really impressed with how they were able to recapture a lot of the same tone from those films set years prior. I think a lot of what made this film work so well and managed to recreate some of that charm is the soundtrack. They didn't bring a lot of new music to this film. They brought in a lot of songs from the 80s to recapture some of that charm. I wish they had the theme a little more from Beverly Hills Cop and Eddie Murphy's iconic laugh. You have those sequels that are years later and they just don't manage to create that same charm that the previous ones did. But at least with this film, they were able to have the jokes, make it more serious at times, realize that the character is older, he's in a different part of his life. That's very important in moving the character forward, and he's still at his job. So it's more realistic to have ongoing storylines and more movies that you could make for this franchise. It definitely did work, and it didn't seem like it was a far-fetched idea to have this movie and have him have a daughter. So I like this film. It's not the best Beverly Hills Cop film, but definitely one of the better ones. So before I give you my score for Beverly Hills Cop Axel F on Netflix, make sure to check out my channel. Here I do movie reviews, trailer actions, ranking videos, tier lists, all that fun movie related content that you see on YouTube. I do it all here, so hit that subscribe button to get it all in one spot. In fact, to see where this film ranks amongst all the other 2024 releases I've seen this year, follow me on Letterboxd and there you can find my ranking. I'm gonna go ahead and give Beverly Hills Cop Axel F a B. Thank you guys for checking out my review for the new comedy on Netflix. Have you guys seen it by chance? What'd you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Just Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.